So former first overall pick Greg Oden has sat down with his former teammate Darius Miles and also their friend Q Rich. And make no mistake about it, Greg Oden has one of the most misdiagnosed labels on him as being a bust because he was selected above Kevin Durant. But unfortunate for him, his knees were not able to hold up. He had about 6 surgeries in 5 seasons. And in the 62 games he played alongside Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge, they finished with a record of 52-12. At the end of the day, when he was healthy, he definitely had major impact. And before we get to the segment, another thing that's never discussed when talking about Greg Oden is the fact that the NBA had changed the eligibility for high school players to come in the league once he was about to graduate. Just at 19 years old, he was already 7 feet, 260 pounds, and he was a very skilled big man with great passing ability. Again, he spoke about the highs and lows of his career, and also something that doesn't get talked about too much, what players go through during the dark times when they realize their athletic death. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
How was it when you, what happened when you first hurt your knee to have to get surgery?
So I grew up with a leg length differential. So I used to walk with a limp, like in high school. And then that's before I could afford orthotics. The school, kind of gave me some in high school, and then I got some in college, but it was always never the exact same. When I got to the league, my orthotics fixed that. So one orthotic was like this and one was like this. So my body was so used to that, that was just me. I had that lean. I swear to God, the first day I got those orthotics, boom, all right, felt weird. Went bowling that night. Came back the next day, literally could not pull my pants leg over my knee. My knee just blew up. Dang. The next day after getting those orthotics, I do remember that. And at that time, I didn't question it, I didn't ask, I couldn't really explain it, nor did I think about that at that end. But when I look back at it, that was the one thing that actually changed and that really affected my body. And then after that, it was kind of just a ripple effect.
Tell us about the mental strain you have to go through every day. You see the D Roses, you see the guys who go through these knee surgeries, and then the casual fan don't know what you go through mentally to even get back to get the opportunity to try to do it again.
So for me, I have 2 stages of it, because the first one, when I first got in the league, that one was I don't know what this surgery is, but I'm out for the whole year. So I guess Portland was trying to take a little bit of pressure of me from rushing back, having all those expectations. But I'm hearing that whole entire first year. So I really don't know what to think. All I know is just do whatever they say to get back, just to get back. My mind that first year was I'm getting back. I gotta prove these motherfuckers wrong. So it was I'm in here every day. Tell me what to do, Bobby Medina, I'm doing it, I don't give a fuck whatever they tell me to do, I'm doing it, literally to the T.
Now right here, I have to also throw in the nuance of the Portland Trailblazers medical staff not necessarily being known for being up to par versus other teams throughout the league. Not only in the 5 seasons that Greg Oden was there, they fumbled his recovery, they also ended up fumbling Brandon Roy's recovery, which caused him to retire prematurely, even though he was one of the top guards in the NBA.
And then you was isolated from the team because they going off on road trips. I want to go hang out with my boy. They end up pushing him away from me. Now he got to come in the afternoons. I got to come in the mornings. We can't work out together.
They didn't work out together. They didn't want me around them.
So now we super isolated. And then now I've never been on the West Coast like that before, especially Pacific West Coast, and I'm 19 years old, so I can't go out and really do nothing.
Yeah.
I barely can go out and walk anywhere because I gotta have my crutches,
And also at this time, the noise around Kevin Durant is growing louder and louder. I believe he won 3 to 4 scoring titles in a row. So not only the medical staff wasn't up to par compared to the rest of the teams in the league, the guy that was picked right behind Greg Oden was putting up crazy scoring numbers. Oden definitely felt the pressure to come back early, and him making this mistake a number of times during his recovery ended up costing him.
I barely can go out and walk anywhere because I gotta have my crutches, so that was really a struggle. So, I kind of did some things, but just to make sure I had fun, at one point with all the injuries stacking up, it became more fun than it became basketball at this point. Like that second go around after my technical third year, when I broke my kneecap and I had the back-to-back microfractures, that was a whole different mindset. Like that was a struggle because it was just like, I wasn't even a basketball player anymore. I don't remember even touching the basketball through that time.
Fucking rehab.
Just literally rehab and weight room. Like I thought I was a professional bodybuilder at that point. Like literally, that's how I lived in that weight room. Jay Jensen always with me. Like literally, I was a professional rehab person. Like I didn't even think I was part of the team no more. So like when I was released from the Trailblazers, at one point it was just like, all right, I'm never with y'all anyways. Like I really didn't feel like I was a part of the team. Like that year I was released, I think that was the year B. Roy went for his 50 in the playoffs. I was in Indianapolis. Like
That definitely was tough for Greg Oden because Brandon Roy, he was one hell of a guard. And had Greg Oden been healthy enough to pair up with LaMarcus Aldridge and B. Roy, that would have been nasty for the Blazers. That could be one of the biggest NBA's what ifs.
Like I wasn't even on the West Coast. It was like I wasn't part of the team. So that was a different feeling. And that struggle was, I'm a rehab because I know I want to prove to somebody that I can get back on this court and that I was the #1 draft pick. So I did it. But again, like I wasn't working on my game. I was just working on being strong enough to be able to run up and down the court for Miami got me, 16 minutes? 4 at the end of the first, 4 at the beginning of the second, 4 at the end of the third, 4 at the beginning of the fourth. So 16 minutes, like that's all I fought for, was just 16 minutes. And then I was on a minute restriction. So if I played in the game, I couldn't practice. If I practiced, I probably wasn't playing in the game because 2 practices in a row, I'm all fucked up. So it was like you never can really gel with your teammates. So, even playing with some of the best players in the world, Brown's gonna make it work. D-Wade and CB's gonna make it work. The Shane Battier's, the UD's, everybody's gonna make it work. But for me, it was like I never got a feel to like actually become me, because at that point, I couldn't even push myself to be better. Because I literally was on a minute restriction. Like it was no pushing myself. It was like, this is all your body got. And then I had no athleticism anymore, which, as I said, that was my game. I didn't add to it while I was sitting out those 3 years. I was just worried about getting my knees strong enough to not hurt when I sat down, So that was a big struggle. And then after that, it was some dark places. Just trying to figure out who I am and what I thought everybody.
Again, he is definitely mislabeled as a bust because he never necessarily had the opportunity consistently to be on the floor. And when he did, it was short-lived. He played a total of 82 games in 5 years. And I believe after his sophomore season, he lost a lot of weight. He got a lot stronger. He was doing his thing, but unfortunately, the knees were just never holding up. And the more surgeries went along, that athleticism just withered away.
Just trying to figure out who I am and what I thought everybody thought I should be. Or what I thought people were saying about me.
Talk about that, how much, because it's one thing, we all know as hoopers, you already fighting your own battle, you know what I'm saying? Just because you want to hoop, fuck anything else, but then you got the loudest noise ever because, like you say, you the #1 pick, and then KD is doing what KD is doing, which ain't making it no more easier for you. So, talk about how that made it that much tougher for you.
I mean, I literally could not do nothing about it.
Right.
As he's stacking up these points, and shout out to KD, man.
Easy money.
Easy money, man. You sniper, brother. You are the man. You put in that work. And for me, I physically could not. But I'm still hearing that. I'm still watching TV. I turn to inside the NBA, and they just talking about KD, and Kenny goes, he should have been drafted #1. The little slick jokes, for me at that time, that shit hurt, But what can I do? It's not like I'm gonna go online and have a tantrum about it.
Right.
All I can do was quietly rehab again, try to get back, try to get back.
They
just
kicked
prove
my
all
ass
that.
on it all the time because I always say, I was like, nah, Greg supposed to been #1. They was like, you see KD and how good KD, and it's like, I ain't trying to diss KD. I respect KD all the way to the fullest. But you don't know how good Greg Oden fucking was, bro. Like left hand, right hand, dunking that bit, defense. Like, man, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, once again, they don't talk about that too much. Oden was a skilled big man. He can pass, he was athletic, he had nice touch. Just had the NBA not changed those high school rules, we might have seen him come in the league at 18 and get a better feel of what he could possibly be before he had gotten the knee issues. That definitely would have been a game changer as far as the narrative around him. But another caveat we gotta look at is social media. Around that time, the transition started to happen where the landscape became to what it is today, where there is no off time for the players. Just within that transition must have been another mental hurdle for him to get over, as the noise kept growing louder and louder with the advent of Twitter on the rise. And make no mistake about it, that transition with Twitter is definitely a thing, because Kevin Durant, even though he was killing and winning scoring titles and even MVPs, the transition with dealing with Twitter was such a huge ordeal, even he had to create fake accounts just to clap back at his haters. So you can only imagine with what Greg Oden is dealing with, not even being able to get a chance to being on the court.
Like, man, it's just crazy, man, that you know, as we play, because I expected my career to be so much better than what it was. Like, if I look back on my career, I played 10 years, I was really probably hurt 8 of them 10 years I played. You know what I'm saying? Where I wasn't fully all the way healthy to have a healthy season. Then fighting, trying to get back. They don't know, like you said, for them 16 minutes, it's like you got 2 kids on your legs, because it's a full-time job just to get yourself up.
Yes, sir.
To play in the game. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the behind-the-scenes shit. Like, you gotta get up in the morning, you gotta go to the training table. After you leave the training table, do your ice and all that stuff.
Anyway, it's like nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job.
Like, and it's hard.
You know, you gotta get out there and get your shots up. After you get your shots up, you gotta have the heat packs on to make sure you don't freeze up. Cause you know, when you get stiff with these knees, it's like you a statue. You can't even move no more.
I know. That's how I walk right now.
Straight
hey,
up.
You see me out there in the skating rink. Boy, these knees do not bend. It's just a straight leg
You
skate.
already know.
Y'all some damn fools. 16 of us out here on skates, dog.
That shows you how athletic Greg Oden used to be. Came into the league 19, 7 foot, 260, and he had a love for skating.
Out here 7'2".
But that was crazy. Like I said, we was working out. I'm glad you said that, because this how I tell you how poorly you used to do your boy, man. We used to work out in the morning before practice start, me and him. They told me they first told me he was going on the road. They first told me, he was like, nah, you can't go on no road trips. I'm like, damn, I can't go on no road trip? He's like, yeah, you can't go on no road trip. So me and him working out. Then they told me I can't work out with him no more before practice. I gotta work out after practice. How crazy is that? Man, they used to do your boy D Miles wrong, bro. They used to be on my ass. I'd be like, bro, I get along with everybody. I don't got no problem with nobody.
He was literally helping me out. Like the thing everybody talk about vets, like literally me and him used to talk, like we working out, but he talking, he giving me game. Yeah. I'm like sitting there.
Like they used to isolate the shit out of me out. Like I didn't even feel like I was on the team, so I know how he felt when he got to now, because it got to the point, like he said, he was by himself. It's like I'm walking in an empty gym. You ain't seeing no teammates or nothing. The trainer and the weight room guy got to work overtime because they got to stay and work out with you.
That's cold.
Once again, in Portland at the time, the personnel was really in question. It wasn't like how NBA teams today really invest in their medical staffs. And again, with the rise of social media, it makes you wonder if they didn't want information getting out. Because around that time, from 07 to about 09, NBA teams lost the ability to broadcast what information they wanted to get out. Now that everybody has smartphones and could tweet away what's going on and basically broadcast themselves like how they do today. Around this time was the beginning of all this. So I can only imagine how certain teams were beginning to adjust to keep information only in-house.
Todd, Jay
Yeah.
Jensen. Shoot, me and Todd basically lived in Vail, Colorado for like 3 months. I ended up living in LA for a summer, rehabbing out there. They sent me back to Indianapolis for a year.
Yeah.
And you think about it, I was only signed with them for 5 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And honestly, it's for the things that I really want to do. I wanted to go back and have some credibility. You know, and I'm trying to get in the space where, you know, I can go out to teams. You know, I struggled with talking to the team therapist because I just kind of didn't feel like I trusted them that much because I felt like it was a direct line to the team and how
Telling
we were
everything.
treated in that organization at that time. It felt weird. So right now, I know things are differently, but I know sometimes some of these players don't want to talk to a professional. Like, I've been through everything you could possibly think of.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not gonna say I'm a professional therapist, but I am damn near a life coach, and I got the experience to show you.
Yeah.
So
Damn, that's kind of crazy. He doesn't trust a team therapist because they were checking in on his mental as far as him going through his recovery. You could only imagine if he even trusted the medical staff after a certain point. Again, another narrative that never gets talked about with the Portland Trail Blazers is how internally their organizational structure had a few questionable points and their medical staff was not up to par compared to other NBA teams. It's not like today where you see franchises put an emphasis on their medical staffs because they understand they have to invest into their star players' health in order to continue to have that money rolling in.
I am trying to move right now is trying to work with individual athletes and teams in that space. So getting my degrees was something that was going to help me kind of validify that. Well, you know, when I tried to step away when I was going through my dark times, that's the most I watched basketball.
For real?
Yeah. Like
See, when I was in my dark times, I didn't even look at basketball no more.
What? NBA TV was on all day and night.
Yeah, I
Then
couldn't look at it
TNT,
no more.
ESPN. That's literally, if I'm not watching Food Network, it's ESPN or it's NBA TV. Like,
okay.
that's it. Because that's what I watch.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it started really when I got in my dark place when I was released by Portland. Because it was like, while I was playing, I didn't want to hear it. And then when I was not playing, I still had that. That's all I cared about. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what made me fall into coaching as well. That's you know, I've been doing it since I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
How was it for you when you got to go back to Portland recently and take in a game and you got received well from the crowd and things like that? How was that experience for you?
Amazing. Honestly, you know, through a lot of stuff we talked about, I didn't know what to expect, but I did know that Beth Hancock was there. And she was always somebody that took care and loved all of us. And I knew that going back there and having a chance to take my wife and daughter, it would be special just to show, you know, where daddy, you know, just finally got his little bit of notoriety at. And we had a good time, man. You know, I honestly appreciated the Trailblazers organization for just the hospitality, Joe Cronin, the coaching staff, is just kind of bringing me in and I guess not making it weird.
Right, that's dope.
And I really hope more things like that can happen for the Trailblazers because I think there is a group in the span of us guys that are still here. As you know, the guys that were coming around when we were there, you know, a lot older now, but they're still around. Just because, you know, you want to bring that. I think a lot of these organizations do that, and I want to see that happen in Portland.
And that is a good thing. A lot of these franchises need to reconnect with some of the players of the past. And with that late 2000s Blazers team, the possibilities were definitely endless. As they were lined up to compete in the West against guys like Yao Ming, you can't forget about that dynamic. That's one of the reasons why Greg Oden going first overall made sense. Around that time in the late 2000s, the big man still had an overall impact as far as how deep you can go into the playoffs, and you still needed big bodies to guard those guys. But at the end of the day, Greg Oden was labeled a bust as social media was on the rise, and Kevin Durant's superstardom was also on the rise. But it's definitely a mislabeling because unlike other real busts, guys like DeAndre Ayton who got drafted before Luka, Ayton's been on the court for plenty of games. And he's been in great advantageous situations having Devin Booker as well as a great guard like CP3, but yet they still struggle to wheel him in. Meanwhile, Greg Oden didn't necessarily get the opportunity to try to outshine the person who got picked behind him, which is Kevin Durant. He was forced into early retirement only at the age of 26 and only played 82 games in 5 seasons for the Blazers. And when he did play with LaMarcus Aldridge alongside Brandon Roy, they dominated with a 52-win record and only 12 losses. So it is what it is. For Greg Oden, it looks like he found the light on the other side of his athleticism, and he's entered a new phase of his life because he has a lot more years to live. And it looks like he's found coaching, continuing his love for skating, and also he has his daughter and his family to look forward to.